Happy New Year. Thank you for joining the Bible in a Year Live podcast. Welcome back. If you're new, thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you'll stick around for the entire year as we just delve into the Word of God. We'll continue with week 1, and this is day 3. We'll be reading from the Name of God version. Genesis 8. God remembers Noah. Elohim remembered Noah and all the wild and domestic animals with him in the ship. So Elohim made a wind blow over the earth, and the water started to go down. The deep springs and the sky had been shut, and the rain had stopped pouring. The water began to recede from the land. At the end of 150 days, the water had decreased. On the 70th day of the 7th month, the ship came to rest in the mountains of Ararat. The water kept decreasing until the 10th month. On the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains appeared. After 40 more days, Noah opened the window he had made in the ship and sent out a raven. It kept flying back and forth until the water on the land had dried up. Next, he sent out a dove to see if the water was gone from the surface of the ground. The dove couldn't find a place to land because the water was still over the earth. So it came back to Noah in the ship. He reached out and brought the dove back into the ship. He waited 7 more days and again sent the dove out the ship. The dove came to him in the evening, and in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Then Noah knew that the water was gone from the earth. He waited 7 more days and sent out the dove again, but it never came back to him. By the first day of the first month of Noah's 601st year, the water on the land had dried up. Noah opened the top of the ship, looked out, and saw the surface of the ground. By the 27th day of the second month, the land was dry. Then Elohim spoke to Noah, "Come out of the ship with your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives. Bring out every animal that's with you, birds, domestic animals, and every creature that crawls on the earth. Be fertile, increase in number, and spread over the earth." So Noah came out with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives. Every animal, crawling creature, and bird, everything that moves on the earth, came out of the ship, one kind after another. Noah built an altar to Yahweh. On it he made a burnt offering of each type of clean animal and clean bird. Yahweh smelled the soothing aroma. Yahweh said to himself, "I will never again curse the ground because of humans, even though from birth their hearts are set on nothing but evil. I will never again kill every living creature as I have just done. As long as the earth exists, planting and harvesting, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never stop." Genesis 9. God blesses Noah and his sons. Elohim blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, "Be fertile, increase in number and fill the earth, and the wild animals and all the birds will fear you and be terrified of you. Every creature that crawls on the ground and all the fish in the sea have been put under your control. Everything that lives and moves will be your food. I gave you green plants as food. I now give you everything else. But you are not to eat meat with blood in it. Blood is life. In addition, I will demand your blood for your life. I will demand it from any animal or from any person. I will demand the life of any person who kills another person. Whoever sheds human blood, by humans his blood will be shed, because in his image Elohim made humans. Be fertile and increase in number. Spread over the earth and increase." God's promise, the sign of the rainbow. Elohim also said to Noah and his sons, "I'm going to make my promise to you, your descendants, and every living being that is with you, birds, domestic animals, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ship, every living thing on earth. I'm making my promise to you. Never again will all life be killed by flood waters. Never again will there be a flood that destroys the earth. Elohim said, This is the sign of the promise I am giving to you and every living being that is with you for generations to come. I will put my rainbow in the clouds to be a sign of my promise to the earth. Whenever I form clouds over the earth, a rainbow will appear in the clouds. Then I will remember my promise to you and every living animal. Never again will water become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rain appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember my everlasting promise to every living animal on earth. So Elohim said to Noah, This is a sign of the promise I am making to all life on earth. Noah curses Canaan, but blesses Shem and Japheth. Noah's sons, who came out of the ship, were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. These were Noah's 3 sons. From them the whole earth was populated. Ham was the father of Canaan. Noah, a farmer, was the first person to plant a vineyard. He drank some wine, got drunk, and lay naked inside his tent. Ham, father of Canaan, saw his father naked, so he went outside and told his 2 brothers. Shem and Japheth took a blanket and laid it over their soldiers. Then they walked in backwards and covered their father's naked body. They turned their faces away so that they didn't see their father naked. When Noah sobered up, he found out what his youngest son had done to him. So he said, Canaan is cursed. He will be the lowest slave to his brothers. Praise Yahweh, the Elohim of Shem. Canaan will be his slave. May Elohim expand the territory of Japheth. May he live in the tents of Shem. Canaan will be his slaves. Noah lived 350 years after the flood. Noah lived a total of 950 years, then he died. Genesis 10, the 14 descendants of Japheth. This is the account of Noah's sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their descendants. Shem, Ham, and Japheth had children after the flood. Japheth's descendants were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. Gomer's descendants were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. Javan's descendants were the people from Elisha, Tarshish, Cyprus, and Rhodes. From these descendants, the people of the coastland spread into their own countries. Each nation had its own language and families. The descendants of Ham. Ham's descendants were Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. Cush's descendants were Sheba, Havilah, Sabta, Rahama, and Sabteka. Rahama's descendants were Sheba and Dedan. Cush was the father of Nimrod, the first mighty warrior on earth. He was a mighty hunter whom Yahweh blessed. That's why people used to say, he's like Nimrod, a mighty hunter whom Yahweh blessed. The first cities in his kingdom were Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in Shinar, Babylonia. He went from that land to Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Ir, Calah, and Resen, the great city between Nineveh and Calah. Egypt was the ancestor of the Ludites, Ammonites, Lehivites, Naphtalites, Pathrusites, Caluhites, from whom the Philistines came, and the Caphtorites. Canaan was the father of Sidon, his firstborn. Then Heth, also the Jerubites, the Amorites, and the Girgashites, the Hivites, the Akrites, and the Sinites, the Arvadites, the Zemarites, and the Hamathites. Later, the Canaanite families scattered. The border of the Canaanite extended from Sidon toward Gerar as far as Gaza, and then toward Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim as far as Lasha. These were Ham's descendants by families and languages within their countries and nations. The 26 descendants of Shem. Shem, Japheth's older brother, also had children. Shem was the ancestor of all the sons of Eber. Shem's descendants were Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. Aram's descendants were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah, and Shelah was the father of Eber. Two sons were born to Eber. The name of the one was Peleg, division, because in his day the earth was divided. His brother's name was Joktan. Joktan was the father of Almodad, Shelef, Hazarmaveth, Jirah, Hadoram, Uzal, Tikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. These were Joktan's sons. The region where they lived extended from Misha towards Sephir in the eastern mountains. These were Shem's descendants by families and languages within their countries, according to their nations. These were the families of Noah's sons, listed by their genealogies, nation by nation. From these descendants, the nation spread over the earth after the flood.